call me Amin Sheikh, but before calling Amin Sheikh, people call me many more. Not Amin Sheikh. They call me garbage boy, they call me Chotu, they call me Chaiwala, they call me wood polish, they call me many things, but Amin. My life began, the journey started when I was 5 years old. I began to work for 2 rupees for 10 hours in the bakery first, and then I started working in the canteen. I used to clean the glass, and that 2 rupees was feeding my family. I born in North Mumbai. One day I was walking to the company bringing the tea, and I tripped over. I broke all the glasses and everything. I was so afraid I didn't know what to do, where to go, who to go. Because if I go home, my stepfather will hit me, my mother will. If I go to tea man, the tea man will bill my ear. And if I go to factory, they will do something that I was not very happy. So I ran. I arrived to railway station, I sat down on the bridge, I watching everyone around me. Many people came and asked me, where are your parents? I did not want to talk to anybody. Many children I saw begging, some children I saw pick up food from the garbage. Many characters that I have never seen before. The first thing I could do is just stay at the station and start begging. The first night only somebody come and raped me in the night. I could not understand why this person doing, why this happening to me. All I knew it was difficult. Like this I live in the station for 3 years. I live in the station for 3 years, begging, robbing, coolie, wood polish, singing in the train. When I started singing in the train, people used to hit me on my head. You are a very bad singer, go out from here. As a child, I didn't know if I was a good singer or bad singer. All I knew, I was trying to survive. 3 years later, very sweet voice came. Hello Baba, what is your name? And that was Sister Seraphine. Sister Seraphine was the nun who used to work in the orphanage called Sneha Sadan in Andheri East, run by Jesuit in Mumbai for the last 58 years. And she said, hello Baba, what is your name? I took a stone and hit her. She kept continue asking. Again I hit her. I said, please go away, if no I'll kill you. 3 hours she took to convince me, my sister and my friend Firoj. We came to the orphanage, Sneha Sadan. Basic thing we had in the orphanage, not a lot of toys and things like that, but the basic thing. But that basic thing, what it teaches the value. I started going to the classes. I started writing 1, 2, 3. I started writing A, E, U, started writing my name. 6 months later, I was going to school. The first day only, my teacher, I was sitting on the first bench. My sister told me, the teacher told me, इतने बड़े गधे हो गए हो, इतने पहली क्लास में आके बैठे हो, चलो जाओ पीछे बैठ जाओ. That means you are such a big donkey sitting in the first class. Go in the last bench. The first day only I lost the interest of the study, but I keep continuing. I passed 7th class. That's my certificate until now. That's my education. 7th class, ulti party, municipality pass. From the small dream to big dream. One day I told Father Plassy I want to play football. Father Plassy said, very good. He's the director of our orphanage. He said, how many children we have in Sneha Sadan? I said, Father, 450 to 425. And which boys and girls have a shoes? Nobody. I started working as a newspaper boy to buy my shoes. I supposed to work for 10 months. My shoes was costing 475. I worked for 10 years, never buy the shoes. Then none of my friends has the shoes. Why me? Dream change, time change, moment change. 12 years later, my orphanage found my mother and my father. They was very happy and proud, but I was not, because they found the disaster of my life that I don't wanted to find them. When I came to the home, I started working in a factory in a very bad condition, in a very bad company. My sister told me, you spoiled my life. I came back to the orphanage and I begged to Father Plassy and said, Father, please take my sister back. I can live on the street as a boy, but my sister cannot. She came back to Sneha Sadan, continued studying. She finished her school, university, college, whatever she has to finish. She became a nurse. I live on the street for 1 year. I start my own publication, that Amin newspaper supplier, my own company on the street of Chakala, Andheri East. I start selling newspaper on the traffic signal, doing odd jobs, rickshaw driving, many things that you could ever imagine in your life. Like this, 1 year, Father Plassy could not see one child on the street. One day he came and he said, I found you a job as a Man Friday with Eustace Fernandez. I didn't even know what was a Man Friday stand for. Now I know what is a Man Friday means. So I went to Eustace Fernandez. It was a beautiful house in Bandra and beautiful balcony garden. I was very afraid to work there. And he spoke beautiful English. I was speaking very bad, rough and tough Hindi. And he very kindly said, sit down on the sofa. I sit down on the floor because my clothes were dirty, very bad condition. I was not very good. I was smelling very badly because I was living on the street. And finally, working with him, 6 months, 5 months, I start realizing the world is not this where we live. The world is beyond this. There's America, there's Canada, there's Australia, there's Spain, there's France. I start to meet people from around the world because Eustace has a friend all around the world. He was a very famous artist who created Amul Girl, Atli Batli, and I started working with him. With the time, I start to speak little English. When I start to speak English, people start laugh at me. Hey, you speak English like a parrot. I didn't know if I was speaking English like a parrot, but I was trying to do what I could according to my knowledge. 4 years later, Eustace asked me on the Christmas, what do you want for Christmas present? I said, sir, nothing, sir, I have everything you have given me. He said, think about what you want. Here, nothing, but here I wanted many things. But I could not tell him what I wanted. He came back from the church, he asked me, what do you want for Christmas present? I said, sir, take me to Barcelona. He laughed at me, are you drunk? You lost your mind? I said, no, sir. You are the only person who can open the door for me on the side of the world. Being as a child, I used to go in the airport with the cycle to see the plane. When I become a driver, waiting hours and hours at the airport thinking, what happened behind that door? All the aerostar pilot walking, tick-tock, tick-tock. What happened behind that door? In the middle of night, Eustace came. He insulted me first. I cried a lot. I went in my room. He came in the middle of night. He said, Amin, here is a Christmas card for you. I said, sir, I'll see you in the morning. He said, don't be so stubborn. Look at it right now. So I opened a Christmas card and it said, Merry Christmas, Amin. 2003, 27 April, we go to Barcelona. That was my first flight ticket. And that's what is the name about Bombay to Barcelona, the way story has begun and where it stands today. Bombay to Barcelona Library Cafe. When I went first time to Barcelona, it was something beyond, that no feelings, no word can describe what I felt there. The first thing hit me very strong in my core. I did not see a single child on the street. I did not see any family live on the street. I did not see anyone taking U-turn anyhow, anywhere, spitting or shitting. And I was asked Eustace, sir, the country where we come from talk about spirituality and humanity. What happened to us to disconnect so strong with reality? And Eustace kindly responded to me, that's a different world. It's a different way of living. 45 days later, I came back to Bombay and I begged him. I said, sir, I give you my life, you give me my freedom. I started traveling every year without stopping until now. Every year, 3 months, I go to Barcelona. 10 years later, I decided I visit many library cafe, a beautiful library cafe where the social act was happening. No restaurant cafe but divided anybody. In India, every corner divided 1 to 100. The difference in Europe, 1 to 3, but not 1 to 100. And I decided, as a driver, I could not enter any coffee shop. Let me build one library cafe run by street boys and girls. I wrote to Oprah Winfrey in America, hello dear Oprah Angel, I'm a street boy of Bombay, Amin Sheikh, I want to come to your TV show because I want to build a library cafe in Mumbai for the street boys and girls like me. There was no answer. I wrote to Ellen in Canada, no answer. And finally one Dr. Martha Miguel, who used to be my client from Barcelona, she called me, hey Amin, I built a hospital in Odisha and Nepal. And I said, Martha, you're a doctor, how is it possible you write a book? And she said, with this book money, I will build electricity 24 hours in Odisha. And I was like, 3 days thinking, if Martha can write the book, build a cafe, why me waiting for someone else to come build my cafe? Start writing without grammar, without spelling. It took me 2 years to complete, thanks to Dilip D'Souza, Vibha Thaman, Sahir, Delphine Mozin, all these people to did the grammar of my book. Finally, I published it myself because nobody was interested to publish in my book. I started doing exactly what I did as a child, begging on the street, selling newspaper. I started begging on the traffic signal, selling my autobiography. It took me 6.5 years to sell 20,000 copies, and finally cafe come in reality in 6 years and a half. 2016, today Mumbai is running by 10 street boys and girls, not as a quantity but as a quality. From one cutting chai to a basic sandwich, you can have whatever you want. Any children from slum can have free muffin, cookie, hot chocolate and sandwich. Bombay to Barcelona Library Cafe running by last 1 year, 9 months in Marol, and there is near the airport. It took a long way, but we done it. I learned only one thing in life. If you do not believe yourself, don't believe in others. Because nobody gives a shit about you. That's the truth of life, and that's the reality. We talk about everything. We arrive to the moon, but we do forget next to our home people have nothing. So I prefer to stay next to my home where people have nothing than thinking going to the moon or other planet. That's what I believe, and I have a message very simple. If I can do as a garbage boy and a street boy, at this little change of one crowd, I think all of us can do 1,000 or better than this. And if I can do it, you can do better than me. That's what my message is.